Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin ruled outside linebacker TJ Watt, defensive lineman Cam Hayward, quarterback Aaron Rodgers, and wide receiver DK Metcalf for the team's final preseason game against the Carolina Panthers. Tomlin said that those four players will not play because he is comfortable with what he has seen so far throughout practices, and when it comes to some of those players, the joint practice served as substitute for preseason games. Tomlin hinted back before the Steelers played the Jacksonville Jaguars that he could potentially leave Rodgers on the sidelines the entire preseason, which is what he'll do. You might be looking at one in 2025. Hey, this guy has been doing this for 21 years. His cumulative snap total and what's required for him to be ready is different than others. And so, if I'm not adaptable and open to adjustments relative to the needs of our guys, then I'm not doing my job. And so you might be looking at one of those coaches in 2025, Tomlin said to Steelers.com. Meanwhile, Tomlin wants to see the secondary play in a stadium after watching them go out there for the entirety of training camp and a joint practice. All other players who are healthy will play, though that does not mean others such as Alex Highsmith, Will Howard, Calvin Austin III, and more will play, as they still battle injuries. Aaron Rodgers, starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has always demanded perfection from those around him, especially his teammates. For this trait of his, Rodgers has got a bad rap in the NFL. Rodgers recently displayed this trait of his during a training session in which wide receiver Roman Wilson experienced some of his heat. As reported by ESPN analyst Ben Solak, there was some miscommunication on the field, which irritated Aaron Rodgers to the point where he continuously scolded Wilson and wide receivers coach, Zach Azzanni. A miscommunication on a rep between quarterback Aaron Rodgers and second-year wide receiver Roman Wilson. In a one-on-one period in the high red zone, Wilson was running an out-breaking route from the slot. The cornerback had nice underneath leverage, but that meant he couldn't see the trajectory of an incoming throw. Rodgers tried to throw the ball to the back shoulder, stopping Wilson's momentum to allow the corner to breeze by, not an uncommon approach in the red zone. Wilson adjusted late and barely got an outstretched hand on the ball. Incomplete. Rodgers let him have it. On the long jog back to his position group, Rodgers alternated between laying into Wilson and laying into Zach Azzanni, the Steelers' wide receivers coach. The QB wagged his head, planted his hand on his hips, and stopped only to start up again twice. ESPN analyst Ben Solak reported about Aaron Rodgers and Roman Wilson. It seems like Aaron Rodgers expects even more from the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially since it is reported that this might be the quarterback's final season in the NFL. Rodgers has only signed a one-year deal with the Steelers and is hoping to lift the Lombardi Trophy for one more time before retiring. Aaron Rodgers talks about ghosts in latest interview. Aaron Rodgers has always been different, and the veteran quarterback definitely has a number of quirks and oddities about him. It was certainly not shocking when Rodgers revealed that he had seen a ghost in his latest interview. According to Rodgers, he started believing in ghosts when he was in the Green Bay Packers training camp. During camp, Rodgers saw a ghost at a place called St. Norbert's College in Green Bay, which was known for several suicides. A couple of the players saw ghosts on 2 nights, after which the quarterback started believing in them and also got interested in the subject. There's been a lot of excitement around rookie quarterback Will Howard with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Howard hasn't been able to play this preseason because of a hand injury. Still, Howard appears fully entrenched as the team's number 3 quarterback behind Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph. But could that change before the 2025 regular season? Fansided's Tommy Jaggi argued there's one trade package for Indianapolis Colts former number 4 overall pick Anthony Richardson that they shouldn't turn down. On Wednesday, Jaggi proposed the Steelers send number 4 quarterback Skylar Thompson and a 2026 fourth-round pick to the Colts. In exchange, the Steelers would receive Richardson and a 2026 seventh-round choice. The Steelers would then have Richardson serve as the team's number 3 quarterback instead of Howard in 2025. The low cost of the trade would make Richardson expendable if the experiment goes south. With Richardson added to the roster, the Steelers could feel more comfortable with stashing Will Howard on season-ending IR, making Richardson the QB3 behind Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph, wrote Jaggi. The best part of this is that Richardson is actually younger than Will Howard, and his presence would give Pittsburgh another dart to throw against the wall and see if it sticks. Richardson will still be 23 years old after the 2026 NFL Draft, and with another year to develop, you never know what could happen. NFL pundits have begun speculating Richardson is a trade candidate because the Colts named Daniel Jones their starting quarterback Tuesday. With Richardson's raw talent but poor decision-making, pundits are split on whether starting Jones is the right decision. But with the Steelers in 2025, Richardson could learn behind Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph. What Anthony Richardson could bring to Steelers. Richardson has been a polarizing quarterback prospect since the Colts drafted him at number 4 overall. Pundits have always loved his raw skills, but the 23-year-old hasn't put it all together on the field. Richardson has also struggled to stay healthy. During the first month of his rookie season, he suffered a concussion. Richardson then sustained an AC joint sprain in Week 5, which ruled him out for the rest of the campaign. Last year, Richardson missed 2 games with an oblique injury and 2 contests because of a back ailment. In 11 games last season, Richardson posted a 47.7% completion percentage and 6.9 yards per pass. He also threw 8 touchdowns versus 12 interceptions. He's unlikely to ever fulfill the expectations he received by being the number 4 overall pick. But Jaggy argued he could be the next Sam Darnold. In all likelihood, we've seen enough of Anthony Richardson to know that he's not going to reach his ceiling, Jaggy wrote. However, we've also seen how a change of scenery and a different coaching staff can make all the difference for a young QB. Richardson is only 24 years old, which makes him younger than Howard. His age and unteachable traits such as size and arm strength could make him a worthwhile flyer for a team such as the Steelers. With Jaggy's proposed trade, the Steelers would also capitalize on Thompson's value due to his strong preseason play. Instead of cutting Skylar Thompson outright, the Steelers could include the former Dolphins' backup QB in the trade, Jaggy wrote. This might not sweeten the deal much, but just enough to net a 7th-round pick back from the Colts. This would give Indy the security of a veteran QB behind Daniel Jones if rookie Riley Leonard isn't ready to step into action in the event of an early season injury. QB Will Howard injury update. Despite NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reporting Howard would miss 3 weeks because of the hand injury he suffered on August 5th, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin held out hope the rookie would play in the preseason finale on August 21st. But this week, Tomlin called Howard's injury week to week and ruled him out for Thursday. It's likely the Steelers didn't place Howard on injured reserve after his injury in the hopes he would get an opportunity for preseason snaps. But with that no longer possible, an IR stint appears more likely. Should that occur, the Steelers could treat 2025 as a redshirt year for the rookie quarterback. That's not ideal because then the team would enter next offseason without seeing Howard in a game setting. But that could be the reality anyway with Howard as the number 3 quarterback in the regular season. With Richardson, the Steelers would add another quarterback into the fold who could compete with Howard in 2026. Having both signal callers also wouldn't discourage the Steelers from drafting another quarterback if there's one they like in the 2026 class.